Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. This is the Dollar Cost Average Show where we dollar cost average $1,000 every single day into my favorite crypto. I was going to say Ethereum, my favorite Ethereum, but really, yes, crypto. And Ethereum is my favorite crypto right now, and that's what I'm dollar cost averaging into. And I've gotten the best purchases so far. Well, yesterday was a pretty good purchase. Today's the second best purchase so far ever. And we're doing quite well. What do we have? We have 12 purchases, so $12,000. And you won't believe what the number is. Our total in portfolio value is $9,600. We're down over $2,500, or just under $2,500. That's one ETH in today's market. Wild. Just put a transaction in just a few minutes ago, and you can see that hasn't made well, it's made a little bit of a dent here, but these we used to have clear steps, but we don't anymore. It's just all messed up. And we'll see what the market does tomorrow to see if this is going to turn into a step or if it's going to turn into some mush like all the stuff before. But yes, so we're down about 25%. So that's what all this is. 25%. So it's pretty wild. But I guess this is why dollar cost average, right? Because if I had just put a chunk of change here, I would have been down 25%, which would have definitely hurt. But when I'm down 2,500 bucks, I don't really mind. And I'm catching the bottom. If we have already hit the bottom, I've already touched it. So that's kind of good news. Yes. So whoops. I did put the link to this EthScan below, so you can go take a look at it and keep track and follow along with me. You should be also dollar cost averaging. Please don't just watch this passively and see what's happening. Please do. That'd be good. Also, I don't know if you guys know how to fix this, but I lost one transaction via that I was trying to get into here, but like I sent it to a different, like a Binance Smart Chain thing, and now it's like lost. It's basically gone. I don't know where it is. And if anyone knows how to fix that, please let me know. I think this is it. Is this what it is? Yeah. I don't know what to do though. Just here. Just hanging out. 11 days ago. This is my second day, and I messed it up. Don't know how to fix it. But if anyone knows how to solve it, I would love some help. I'll give you half the ETH if you tell me how to fix it. Let's put it that way. Yeah. So that's the situation. EthScan. Yeah. So 12 in. Oh boy. It's the end of my day, so I'm definitely a little bit more soft with hands. So let's get to the market. Let's see what the chart looks like. Well, the chart doesn't look great. We're on the weekly chart today, and we closed this massive candle. That's about a 30% candle. Let's just double check it. It's about 30% down. And yeah, that looks like about 30. It's 21.39. Okay, it's 21% down. And we ain't looking too wonderful. We've opened today, so about 3 hours ago, and we've been going down since. Cause I guess we had a little bit of a pump, a bounce, maybe you call it a bounce, and now we're coming back down again. We're back at our happy face. So what we thought we'd get to in about a month, we got to very shortly, a couple days, 3 days later. And next price target is about 30K. And then the stretch goal is like 25. And the real stretch goal is about 20, which would be, I mean, that's the last all-time high from, years ago. So let's put a happy face down there and just keep track of them. Where do we put them? So about 20. Put them there. That's pretty close to 20. That's 20. So we got 35, we got 30, 25, and 20. I'll take bets. Where do you guys think we're going to land? I'm not sure. I think we might go down to 30, but that's dependent on a lot of things. I mean, we don't really have support here. I mean, we're holding, but I think we're going to slip down to 30, where I know there's a lot of support. right? We previously held quite strong there. It was like 1700 is where we really held. Or sorry, I was thinking about ETH, but 29K, 28K, we've held. So I don't see a reason why we go lower than that. But you never know nowadays. You never know. And we're really waiting for some good, solid volume to kick in to really keep us going and up. But that hasn't happened either. So we'll have to see. Another thing I wanted to point out is the RSI. Now, this is the relative strength index. And right now we're at about 36.5. And when we're below 30, which is right there, there's 30. That's this line there. Below this line, we are oversold, right? We are technically not oversold right now. If I'm looking at this chart correctly, we are not oversold. We've been oversold before, and we're getting close. Like this was, I believe this was the COVID crash. Yeah, March 20. We got very close to. We got 33. In December 18, we definitely got oversold, right? You just see it just went down a little bit past. We really hit, kicked the bucket in January 2015, right? We definitely did. But this is a slightly interesting trend. I mean, I don't know how correlated this is, but this is winter basically. December 2011, January 15. This is November 18, and here we are, January 22. So that's kind of interesting, something to note at least, right? That we've gone quite low there at these dates. I don't know what that exactly means, but there is a theory about 4-year cycles, right? So we have 2011, then we have, I would say this is 2015 or 2014. I don't know. It depends on how you want to time it. But then if we were to do 4-year cycles, this is 18, right? This is December 18 or 19, 18 or 19, 14 or 15. So it's 4 years later, 14 or 15, 18 or 19. And then here we are at 21, 22, right? Where we're seeing this dip, rather large dip. Like if we take this from the top, right? Let's go for the top wick down to where we are. We're down about 50% right now from the top, which is pretty interesting. And if like if we went down from the top, this was the last market peak in 2018. If we went there, top all the way to the bottom, we went down to about 85%, right? That was our total drop. 50% drop would have just been the beginning. We were touching the beginning of it. The beginning of the drop would have been like right around there, right from there to there. I don't know if you can see that, but like we went from there to there is about 50%, and there to there is about 80%. So something interesting to note. Definitely something interesting to note. We've been oversold a lot of times. I'm sorry, we've been overbought, right? Quite a bit, but we've not been oversold too much. And normally when it's down to these ranges is when it's really the best deal, right? If you end up buying closer down to these lines, you're getting a sweet deal, right? There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Like you're getting a great deal. Like now when we're here, we're getting an okay deal. We're certainly not getting a bad deal, right? It's not like a terrible deal, but it's possible that we go down lower. But these are correlated to a lot of different things. I also want to show you one more thing before we move forward. It is the 200-week moving average, which I put in this dark yellow line here for ease of reading. The 200-week is the bottom, right? So this $20,000 really needs to be adjusted a little bit, because when it gets over here, you can imagine this line has, probably gone off something like this, right? I'm not sure what the angle is, but something like that. So we're probably looking at 22,000 or 21,000, something like that is where this line would be in a couple weeks, maybe like April. Oh, yeah, okay, there we go. So this is March of 22. You can imagine it out here, just a little higher than 20,000, 22, 21. But this is probably the bottom of the bottom. We rarely go below this. Like we touch below it, but we don't go much further than that, right? Like let me see if I can right? The 200 week simple moving average is the bottom. There isn't much else. Like you can't, like this is the so like when we really hit rock bottom, this is where we'll go, right? This is the 2018 peak, um, and you can see it rides that. And so the question is, will we ride this again? Right? Will we ride this again? And it seems like we will because we haven't been here since 2020. Right? This is the last time we touched it. So it may not be completely unreasonable for us to reach here, but this is of course the worst case scenario that we come back to here. And I know some of us, I wouldn't mind it because I'm dollar cost averaging and I'm not like too hesitant. It's like if we get there, not a big deal, not the end of the world for me because we're DCAing and I hope you are as well. And it's not going to be the worst. But that is where we could end up. But we're totally, completely hypothesizing. Also, if you notice the red light, that's because we're in a downtrend, right? This has just been an epic crash below what we all expected. We didn't expect to break through this, and we did. And now we're just down in the, I mean, like we had downs here, and we could have came back up, but we're coming down now. We're coming down to the 30s, which is no, I don't think anyone expected it. We hung out in the 40s for quite a bit of time, about 3 weeks before we kind of jumped it here. And let's see what we do in the coming weeks. The 200 week is going to play an important role in how this all plays out. And yeah, and we have, the death cross did happen, right? Where is it? Right, the death cross did happen, and these are haven't cross check. That's what they call it. Why do they call it that? Delete. Death cross. There we go. Okay, well, I'm not gonna play with it. I'm not gonna try to get it. It's not coming, but we had a death cross, and that's, this is predicting the future because we had it like a couple, week ago or something, like last week. So this is, there it is. This is, going to impact us, right? That's not it. This is going to impact us, and it's impacting us. It's certainly impacting us. So if you thought that the death cross was not going to do anything, here's the clearest indicator that it is doing something, right? It is definitely affecting us in non-ideal ways for some. If you're DCAing in, this is not the worst thing in the world. By the way, if we get down at like 30K, I'm going to be very interested in putting in a lump sum, right? 30K, I'm going to be very interested in putting in a lump sum, especially if the news and sentiment isn't so positive. And I'm definitely going to put some market or like limit purchases in for 30K and then something for 25K as well, just in case this happens overnight, which we can't, of course, we can't predict. We just cover some market news. So according to this, we've reached oversold. And according to some, 34K is the price of the where is it? Yeah, I mean, like, check out this chart. So according to this, we've gone below and we went down to 20, right, at $34,000. Doesn't say that on my chart on the on what we just looked at. Like on what we look at here, we don't see RSI reaching those levels. So it's interesting. We've reached 36 and it's below 30, and so like either the interpretation of this chart is different, or Cointelegraph may be off, which is entirely possible as well, but it's more likely that we are. So this is interesting because when it does reach oversold levels, it's likely that it's going to pump a little bit, and we've seen a little bit of a pump. We're at 35,285 right now. We check out ETH. We're waiting. 2,000, 1,700, and we've got about 1,400. But we can actually move this down. I think we should move it down. Probably. Let's just move it down to 1,000. That's a stretch goal. This is a pretty big stretch goal, but let's see if we can make it. That's a big stretch goal, but let's see if we can make it. I would be pretty happy at 1,700. At 1,700 ETH, I would happily purchase quite a bit. I'd also be pretty happy with the $2,000 ETH. What we may want to ask is we can't actually check previous because the coin wasn't there, which is pretty funny. But this is going to track with Bitcoin pretty well. So whatever happens over there is really the biggest indicator. Um, I don't know about 1700 because it was just a series of wicks, but like we can expect here like 1800 and like say 2000 between 2000 and 1800 2000 1800 were like pretty strong supports there, right? We see it. We can see these lines here and these things here to kind of allow for some support. So we'll have to come back there. But let's predict the future a little bit, and this is what we're really here for. Inflation surge could push the Fed into more than 4 rate hikes this year. Rate hikes is what's important, and the number is also important. So by the end of this year, we could have interest rates increase by 1%. If interest rates increase, the price of Bitcoin is going down, right? The price of Bitcoin is going down for sure. If they don't increase rates, price of Bitcoin may stay stable. If they start printing money, price of Bitcoin is going to go up. But if they print money, they're going to run into situations like what Turkey is going through, which has had a 40% inflation rate, which is like absolutely absurd. I think inflation rate hit 36.1% in December. Inflation expectation for the next 12 months jumped to 25.5% from 21. This is bonkers, dude. And Wall Street banks predict last year's currency crisis could push inflation beyond 50%, although argues that it will peak early and at a far lower rate. Inflation rates at that, like when it's that high, you're basically screwing your entire economy, right? All the people and everything. Like your pencil has gone from $1 to $1.50, right? Over a month. It's just absurd. You can't go through that. So if the Fed makes this mistake by not raising interest rates and holding it steady, or when capitulating to us, the investors, and holding it steady, or printing money, goddamn, that'd be wild. If they do, you're definitely going to see Bitcoin prices go up, but you're going to see the economy do some bonkers things. Like price of cabbage is going to go from like $3 a head to like like I think it's like 450 or something, right? Like a 50%. I'm not predicting the number, but like it's going to go higher. I think we're at 7% interest rate right now. I mean 7% inflation last year, which is like quite high. I think in the 1980s it was like we can check that. Inflation rate uh great. So we're at 7% as of late, like the latest numbers, right? So this thing, but if we go back, we've had times of high inflation, right? Let's go 1940s, 50s, looks like the 50s. The 80s was a big time of inflation. We had a lot of inflation then, and then we had this painful period where we brought it down, right? And then all the 1990s and the 2000s have been pretty level. We had a little bit of spike and bring down there. And here in 2020, we're really kicking it up, right? But the inflation rate in the 80s was absolutely bonkers, like 15%, right? And that is bonkers. And so we don't want to go back there. Though it would be good for things like for our Bitcoin and whatnot. But what I want to bring up with you is the market's going to remain on edge all week until the meeting on Tuesday and Wednesday, right? And they're going to tell us, Jay Powell is going to tell us, are they going to increase the rate? Or if they are, how often, how much, when, right? Is it going to be a quarter of a percentage, 0.25%, or 0.1? What's it going to be? Like we need to know the number because everyone's on edge. And I definitely wonder what the markets are going to do tomorrow because Bitcoin is so correlated with the Nasdaq. If the Nasdaq pumps, you can expect Bitcoin to pump. If the Nasdaq it goes down further on bearish news, then this thing's gonna go down as well. So it's gonna be super super interesting. I'm definitely waking up at 4 to be at the open to track this thing. There might be a bit of a pump in the open and then a little bit of a sell-off in the afternoon, which we've been seeing over and over again. And it's earnings season, which should be positive news because it seems like, I mean, if we had December, so of course and analysts predict that we're going. Apple reports December quarter earnings next week, which is this week, and analysts have concluded that results are likely to be above current consensus. So it's going to be pretty good news, right? So if the economy comes out to be more positive than they think it is, um, that's good, right? That's good. And that means that the interest rate will unfortunately go up higher than we expect, right? So maybe it'll be a 0.35 or 25 or something or other. And these kind of things will make crypto prices drop because NASDAQ will drop. Why? Because interest rates will go up. That means taking out loans will be harder. And all these tech companies, Teslas, that rely on a lot of debt, especially before revenue, will start crashing and bring the NASDAQ down. And I suspect BTC prices will go down as well. That being said, we're also in a downtrend. Like, we would need some pretty positive news to really get something going here, to get out of this downtrend, or like a huge spike of volume to, for whatever odd reason, like here or something. But we're not seeing it. I don't think we'll see it either, and I think we're gonna go down further. I think there's more negativity here. Like yeah, you can imagine this as people taking profits, right? People that purchased maybe back here, and it's actually terrible. Like if you purchased back here and you didn't take profits here, or you didn't take profits here, boy, you're taking a 50% haircut basically here, and it is 50%. Yeah, from as we saw, 50% from there to there. So it's just like absurd. But I'm excited for Tuesday, and I think our announcement will be Wednesday. So we're gonna be on edge for the next 3 days, basically, right? 2 days, maybe 2.5 days, until we get some announcements on what's gonna happen and what the deal is. And all that time, I bet we're gonna go sideways, or we're gonna go like we're gonna go sideways, or depending on the sentiment, right? Because I'm sure things are gonna leak, and people are gonna be talking about what the market actually is gonna do, and that's going to impact a lot of these things. So let's wait and see. Let's see how exciting things get. Regardless, this is better than a boring period of time, right? Where we're literally going sideways and absolutely nothing is happening. Like we have something is happening, and like we get to watch and like kind of play the market a little bit. Like if things work in our favor, this could be quite good. So let's see what happens. Aside from that, background is red because we're in the trenches. Most of us are, relatively negative. We're in the 30,000s, about 35K. So we've hit our first happy face. And let's see how lower we can go. I mean, 30K is pretty good for me. I'm pretty happy at 30. I'm not sure if we're gonna go lower than that. Of course, I'm not sure how low we're gonna go at all, to be absolutely frank. What am I doing here? Though we have a long way to go, right? The markets are these lengthening cycles, and we have until maybe 2023, late 2022, for anything interesting to happen. So maybe we're waiting for this to go down to here, and then we do a little bit of an up. We can like just like we go down to here, and then we go up, and then we like have this thing, and we're like, oh my god, everything's gonna happen, and then no, we come back down, and then we like touch this line. Right at this point, it's like at this point it's a 25K, right? And then we finally start going up, right? This is entirely possible, but I'm just drawing like complete theoreticals, right? Absolute theoreticals. But if we get to 25K, I'm gonna be very interested in just buying, just straight buying, right? Even if we get to 30K, I'm gonna be very interested in buying because this line continues to go up as time goes on, and we respect the 200-day moving average pretty well. We can have wicks below it, but like what I ideally want to do is purchase and send to my cold wallet, my paper wallet, and just leave it there. Like I don't want to be thinking about this like all the time. And I want to stop my DCAs at some point as well. Like I don't want to continuously keep DCing up this trench, up this trench or up this point. I would not want to do that. Of course, it's completely theoretical, right? But I wouldn't want to. I'd want to be DCing down, but not so much up. So like ideally we can wrap this DCA up and we can turn just into like straight news, daily news, and like what the updates on these things are. But anyways, this is today's update. I will see you guys tomorrow. Excited to see what the market does tomorrow morning, since we're so correlated with the market, with the stock markets, public markets. It should be pretty interesting. Have a wonderful day, guys, and see you guys tomorrow. Bye bye.